summer beddings pretty much out of the way, or dying back substantially, it's time to do the annual Trachycarpus species update, with all of them being planted out pretty much at the same time along this fence line. So I'll be going through these one by one and showing you what they look like now, and you can refer back to the previous videos which have been done every year now since 2015. So this is the 5th growing season, 4 years in the ground, as it was planted in June 2015. So we've had 2015, 2016, 17, 18, 19, so 5 years of growth. They're planted as tiny little plants on the whole, most of them all the similar sizes, apart from these two behind here, but we'll get a closer look at them coming up in this video. So this is the Trachycarpus nanus palm tree, very slow growing, pretty hardy, but really nice deep green leaves, and it's extremely slow growing so far, basically staying at ground level, but the leaves are progressively getting a little larger now, going out to about 180 degrees in circumference. This is Trachycarpus latisectus. Again, nice bright green leaves, much thicker leaflets here, less divided, and sort of feel like a thinner leaf, and it's growing well now. It's got some fluff either side of the petioles here, this tomentum, and if we get down, have a look at the trunk, it is developing a small trunk which is slowly getting bigger, and we'll see how it progresses throughout the years. So that's Trachycarpus latisectus. Next we have the regular Trachycarpus Fortuniei, nicely divided leaves. So far it looks pretty neat and tidy, this one. And if we look at the trunk, we've got the typical Trachycarpus Fortuniei trunk. Again, it's growing slowly but surely, and it's grown quicker than the latisectus, much thicker trunk so far. And here we have one of the rarer Trachycarpus species. This is Trachycarpus geminisectus, with the thickest leaves of any Trachycarpus palm, really thick leathery leaves. They are white on the underside, very stiff, sort of like almost waggy stiff leaves. There's no tomentonum on the sides of the petioles down there. Very slow growing, but it's done a couple of leaves this year, which is pretty good for this species. And the trunk's still pretty small. It's only, about 5, 6, 7 centimetres tall really. But it's pretty sturdy in the ground. I think that's going to show that it's got some decent hardiness, and it's seen almost -6 with protection last winter. Here's Trachycarpus Princeps, the silverish, whitish or bluish Trachycarpus there is. So the upper sides have sort of got a bit of a pale bluish tinge, but the undersides are pure white. Absolutely stunning. And that's grown slowly but surely. This was a bit of a one of the Trachycarpus Princeps that wasn't doing well. I've got some much bigger ones in other places in the garden. This was a bit of the runt of the litter, but it's grown well now, and it's established itself, and the leaves are a decent size. So that's Trachycarpus Princeps. Next we have Trachycarpus nanitale, which is very similar really to Fortuniei. It's growing bigger leaves, and it's still a little bit tatty, and it's growing quicker than the Fortuniei. So that's quite a nice palm to have, nice and robust, pretty tough. And next to that we have what was planted as a manipur, but obviously isn't. And it's probably a nanitale, not certain what it is to be honest, but it's grown a huge trunk now. That's really fast growing, and the leaves are well divided. and they're, as you can see, really big. That is the trunk there. It was creeping for a long time, so the trunk started off over there and it's crept and then gone straight up, nice and thick. Really strong, robust trunk. And it's produced many, many leaves each year. It's now a sizable plant after only 4 or 5 years. And now the fastest growing of them all, Trachycarpus Princeps hybrid. Probably the nicest looking palm in the garden, to be honest. Super fast growing trunk. That's approaching a metre now in 4 or 5 years since planting out. The leaves are well divided. They're absolutely huge, the leaves. Big as of any Trachycarpus that I've got. Got loads and loads of orange tomentonum or fluffy stuff on the top of the trunk and around the leaf bases. And on the newest leaves, they are pretty bluish white, not as good as Princeps or geminisectus, but still not bad. It's a super fast growing palm tree and hardy as well. Next in the shade at the moment, at this time of year, we've got Trachycarpus Takil. This is growing well, established after spear pull a couple of years ago when it was a very small plant. It's a very slender growing thing at the moment, very thin petioles. The leaves are getting bigger now, really nice deep green colour. Sort of resemble a little bit like nanus leaves, but a bit bigger. So that is the real Trachycarpus Takil. Here we have the Trachycarpus martianus, Nepal form. Sort of apple green coloured leaves, and they're sort of fused for half the leaf before the leaf that sort of frond out at the end and divide. That's grown about 3 full leaves this year. It's the least hardy of all the Trachycarpus that I grow, well, out of all the species. And so this will be protected soon once the weather gets really cold. If I can get down to show it the trunk, you can see that it's got lots of fluff on the top of the trunk where the new leaves are, and on the leaves themselves. And the trunk now is decent, quite trunky, so hopefully next year it'll start shooting up and grow faster than it has been doing for the last 4 years. Next we have the classic Trachycarpus wagneranus, or the miniature fan palm is a common name for it, with these very stiff wind resistant leaves, sort of much smaller than Fortuniei, very sought after form, as hardy as any of the Fortuneis really. And it's grown pretty well. If we go down you can see it's now got a decent trunk, which is about 40 centimetres tall. So that's the Trachycarpus Fortuniei wagneranus, basically a selected cultivated form of Fortuniei. And here we have the Trachycarpus nova, which is very fast growing, very long petioles, quite scrappy leaves. That's grown really well in a sort of rubble bed up here. Proper established thick trunk now. It's definitely marching upwards pretty quickly, fast growing, pretty much fast as Princeps hybrid, although the Princeps hybrid's a little bit quicker growing. So that is the Trachycarpus nova. Here's Trachycarpus Takil common, which is not a true Takil, found in the Common region. And this, if you've been looking at early videos, was planted along the line of fence with most of the other Trachycarpus species, but I moved this last year to this spot and it's established well. It's got a nice decent trunk on it, but the leaves are pretty much the same as Fortuniei and Nanital, so it's really hard to tell the difference at this age. Here's Trachycarpus ukhrulensis, and this, now it's got older, has got stunning silver undersides to the leaves, silvery blue. Lots of little curly bits on the edge of the leaves, on all the newest leaves. And it's growing at a fair rate now. It took a long time to get established. This plant's over 10 years old, been planted out for 5 years. But the leaves are pretty big now, although the trunk, if you just go down, which is coming out at a true angle, is not that big yet. But look at this here, look at that, absolutely loads of fluffy turmen. So you can see between the different Trachycarpus species, they've got lots of distinguishing features. Although most of them look very similar at first glance, you can definitely tell the differences by looking at the trunks, the leaves, and the amount of turmen they have, and where it is, and the colour of it as well. So that is Trachycarpus ukhrulensis, formerly known as manipur. And last but definitely not least, we have my favourite looking Trachycarpus species of them all. This is Trachycarpus oreophilus, with a nice slender trunk, pretty quick growing, really long leaf stalks or petioles, and then absolutely stunning leaves that are half divided, and loads and loads and loads of individual leaf segments or leaflets here. And it's absolutely stunning, extremely rare Trachycarpus. And if we just have a look from above, you can see the leaves. They're huge and they're absolutely stunning, by far and away the most pretty Trachycarpus in the genus. So that is Trachycarpus oreophilus in year 5, and it's grown really well in its new spot.